I just got to make sure that it does it. Last time people couldn't look at it. Yeah, it's on there.
Oh, we're up there right now?
Yeah,
okay.
I said it's where only I can see it.
Yeah.
We're about to add it.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah. Make sure I can share. Oh no. Can you see it yet?
Okay, let me look. I'm about to get a notification saying I'm going live. You're live.
Is it?
Fuck no. JT. Is it gonna be on the Jaywalking podcast or is it gonna be on your Facebook?
It'll be on my Facebook.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. It shows you on there. All right, dude. The thing is, like, when you're recording the video, like, it'll save, but then it'll go to record, and there's like a minute and a half of us just like sitting around looking. Joe was like, man, I clicked on it, but dude, it looked like you and Tommy were doing nothing.
You weren't doing
for
shit.
40 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, no volume?
Yeah. Well, like, yeah, they just weren't. He's like, y'all were fumbling around. Tommy's looking so close to the computer, and like he said,
Tommy's in there.
Yeah.
Digging in.
Yeah. So. All right. I don't even know, man. I've seen people do. I don't have a clue about live, really, but it's kind of getting there. Hey, for anybody joining, we're about to start another episode of the Jaywalking podcast. Sometimes we like to put 2 in on the weekend when we can. Life gets busy, and so as many as we can fit in, the better. We're gonna record the live video here, and then we're gonna go into the podcast. So, it's, like I said last time, it's gonna sound a little bit different, a little bit weird. For sure. When we're like, hey, okay, we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. But my boy, Zac Gunderman's here with us.
What's up, everybody?
I got the handles on the bottom of the screen, so if you want to follow us on Instagram, that'd be great, at Jaywalking the Podcast. And then our email is there as well. Yeah, so check that out before we start this thing. I'm going to put my picture on here at some point during this day.
Just slap it up there right
Yeah,
now.
like this
whoops.
is what it looked like. Not a good look. Okay, so I'll let that flow. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to hit you in 3, 2, 1, and then we'll roll into it. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't jack around. 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Jay Spitzer. Welcome to the Jaywalking Podcast. Another episode for you. This is episode 7, I believe. Yeah, episode 7 with my boy Zac Gunderman. What did I say? What?
I think you told me to say 8.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
No, it's 7. Is it 7 or 8?
7 or 8, man.
We're about to have to just redo this, actually. You're right. No, you're right.
Okay.
It's 8.
I was going to feel really
No,
really
thank
bad
you, because... Yeah, because Mikey was 6. Yeah, Holt was 5. Mikey's 6. Oh, you saved me on that one. All right, we'll go over it. That's funny. Like, oh, man, y'all are jacking up on me already. All right, here we go. So 8. It's 8.
Yeah.
All right, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Jay Spitzer. Welcome to Jaywalking Podcast, episode 8. The second one that we're putting out this weekend, I'm with my buddy, Zac Gunderman. It's Zac Gunderman. Just how it sounds, how you spell it at the end. We were talking earlier, and Zac's from Arkansas. There's another guy that I get to work with, and he actually was one of the guys in the treatment center that I came through and then looked up to as well. So, Zac, welcome to the show. Glad you're here, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Been trying to get you in here for a little bit, so it's kind of like I was telling people, the schedules are a little crazy, and dude, I don't know what it is about the fall, but you know, for my schedule, full school, going to school full time, and then working in treatment as a whole, you might work, a little over 40 hours a week in treatment, but it feels sometimes like,
oh, it can take a toll on you, man. Some days.
Yeah,
some days for sure.
Golly.
Some days are great, some days are crazy.
But the great ones are really good.
And the bad ones are, how it goes.
They're bad. I was thinking the other day, like, did I sound this delusional at times when I was talking to people?
Well, so that's funny because I remember I did your intake. And
I don't know if
you remember what happened.
Oh, I do remember what happened.
We don't have to go into.
Oh, well, we can go into
into detail if you want to.
You found something in the bag.
Oh yeah, first pocket I searched. You know,
Yeah.
I found that loaded rig in there.
That wasn't good, man. Oh gosh.
But yeah,
I felt like I was in trouble.
You looked rough. You looked rough, man. Yeah, you didn't look so good.
I'll throw just for giggles. Let's see if I can bring this back to the live screen here. Sorry for you guys. Listen, I forgot we're on the podcast sometimes. We're recording, but just for you guys that are watching, I'll put my picture up. What I did look like in the center, and this was even like a couple years before, but like that's definitely what it did to me. And then trying to get back to normal. So. Yeah, you saw me at a very weird point in life, but I'm like I said, I'm very grateful to have you here, Zach, from Arkansas. So we got someone from a different area, different parts of the country.
Yeah, you had like 3-4 Syracuse boys in a row.
I was telling Tommy, dude, I was like, Syracuse is sick.
Syracuse takeover.
Yeah, nothing against you people in Syracuse, but either the heroin or the drugs are very good in Syracuse, or there's just some issues going on there.
Or they're really bad.
Or they're terrible. Yeah, they're terrible. So yeah, we've had a couple of them, and I was talking to Gundy, man. I'm gonna keep shouting out to the indies out there and Road to Recovery. I'm so like, I really believe in what they do, and it's a nonprofit organization that helps people seek treatment. You can look on them online. It's Road to Recovery, CNY.com, and if you'd like to donate, that'd be great, because as many people as we can get help to, the better. Right? Wouldn't you agree with that? Before we get into it, like, how did you end up in Austin? Like, did you go through a program, or did somebody find it on the internet, or was it suggested?
So my parents went through this interventionist back in Little Rock. And if I'm being honest, man, those last 2-3 weeks of me back there are pretty blurry. Yeah. So I don't, it just kind of happened. I was actually supposed to go somewhere else, but I kept. Shit, I mean, I was dying, dude. Yeah, like literally dying. Yeah. And one day, my uncle flew me down here. My dad and my uncle came with me, and I was in Austin, Texas. Next thing you know, I don't remember getting here. No, not at all.
And then the rest is
I just woke up in Austin.
Wow, that's kind of how it happens for a lot. Like, some people get here and they're like, "Oh man, I'm ready to roll," and then they wake up the next day like, "What in the hell did I do?"
Well, that wasn't me either. I laid in bed for about a week.
Did you?
When I got here? Yeah,
felt terrible.
I was sitting there detoxing in the bunk beds.
Gosh, bunk in the actual. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
It's rough, but it's like, you know what? I think that's important too, in a way.
It was. Man, just thinking about it, I kind of get like goosebumps. Yeah, like, God, that sucks so bad.
It's terrible for all
so bad.
For all the like stuff we do to our body with drug use. It's like almost like you deserve a little bit to understand. Like, you get up, you got to come down at some point.
Oh, I had it coming.
And it's like it ain't gonna be good. You can ease it a little bit, but it's almost like, well, if you could take all of it away, it would kind of like. It would mess up
if there's no consequences. I'm getting high
every
all
time.
Day,
Wouldn't that be, it wouldn't
all
matter.
Day.
It's like your step one experience a little bit with it. Man, the way I felt was terrible. Ain't nothing worse than that. Coming off gosh, dude, the fetal position, sweating, but you're cold,
hot and cold at the same
sweating,
damn time.
Your legs are going crazy. Restless leg syndrome, especially if you're in a bunk where people are walking through every.
Yeah, I mean your stomach. Your head.
Oh, it's not good.
The lights are too bright. Yeah. Everyone's too damn loud.
Everyone's annoying. Yeah. You're restless. You're irritable.
Love it.
Yeah, you're all in the malady. It's terrible. That's one thing I do think of a lot. I'm like, man, I don't want to go back.
Would not recommend.
Yeah.
Would not recommend
to nobody.
To anyone.
So that's cool, and it just kind of is what it is. It's part of the experience, and it's part of like my nightmare. I just want to close my eyes. I'm like, I want to. Okay, new thought.
Yeah.
But. So from Arkansas, real quick, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Hit me.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
I did this to Tommy, but see what you guys. Can you give me an FIV? FIV.
FIV. Oh man. Okay.
Make it a current
one.
Current FIV.
And not like sitting here in this chair right now.
I mean, that can be it.
Because I have a fear I'm gonna say something stupid on this podcast.
Okay.
Insecure. Man. This is a good one.
Yeah. I didn't think about it until I did Tommy, but
yeah. So I'm insecure.
Insecurities.
Insecure. I used to have really messed up teeth when I was little. Had braces all the time.
Yeah.
My teeth are pretty straight now.
Yeah. For the camera.
What's up, Facebook? Teeth are pretty straight now, but I don't know. I'm just like self-conscious about my face sometimes.
Yeah,
just that area.
I get that. I'm very insecure about my pointy nose.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
or like all kinds of stuff. I'm very like really body conscious, and I shouldn't. Yeah, we're hard on ourselves.
Yeah,
it's not just body image is a big deal.
Yeah, and it's current because dude, I got a couple fake teeth in my mouth because I got kicked in the face when I had braces once, and I lost some teeth, and I just had jacked up teeth anyway.
Yeah.
So I got a couple fake teeth in my mouth, and I've been out to eat with a buddy before, just eating on some pizza, and the sucker popped out.
Oh, really?
I'm like trying to play it cool.
Like,
I have one of those moments where I'm like, dude, this is one of my best friends. His dad's here. I'm like, hey, check this out.
This is cool.
Yeah. So I'm really hitting on that Arkansas stereotype.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. That's not. That's a real. People think that way.
Yeah.
About a lot of states, but like Arkansas, dude. Hey, I do know Jerry Jones that came out of there. He owns the Dallas Cowboys, so I'm gonna give you that all day.
Yeah.
And so you got the fear, you did the insecurity. Now we got the vulnerability.
Oh, okay. Let me think about this one for a second.
No, I understand. Let's get vulnerable.
Damn, on the spot, man.
I know.
The last
dude,
time I did these, I wrote them down.
Isn't it tough?
Okay.
It's a little tougher, but it's almost like, all right.
Yeah, it's cool. So a lot of my vulnerabilities, man, like is stuff I would have said in treatment. Mm-hmm. It's not stuff I would really look at like the same way now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
like,
I understand.
A vulnerability for me right now would be like, and it's kind of a fear too. It's just like sometimes I get afraid that like I'm not gonna amount to anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess that's more of a fear, but like a vulnerability for me, man, is like something I don't like talking about.
Yeah.
And so it's a fear, but like I don't like talking about. Sometimes I'm like, bro, like am I ever gonna be like get to this spot where like I'm doing my dream job or like, you know what I mean? Like,
are you?
And I love what I do now.
Get that.
And so, but it's not like I love what I do now, and like I'm not always worried about it, but like deep down, and sometimes I'm like, bro, like what does life mean? You know, like what
so
am
you're
I
hitting on
gonna
purpose
do?
and meaning. Like, wait, am I fulfilling purpose? Do I have a purpose?
And then it's like, is this always gonna work for me? You know, like stuff like that.
So it's like you're kind of doubting the big man, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Upstairs with that one.
And that's just, dude. That's a spot I get to sometimes.
Yeah. No, I think we all do. I think everybody struggles with that.
My experience shows that like he's always taking care of me
every time. Dude, that's where I look back at it, and it's like even through the tough times, like because I had to get to this point somewhere. You know, with a little surrender in there. Dude, I think that's my favorite piece is the surrender piece, and I think we all struggle with it, but. Yeah. It's like, okay, we get surrendered in a way, and God does all these crazy cool things for us, and then we want to take a little bit of that control back. Like you start getting in your head about am I doing my potential, and this is what I'm supposed to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, and then you kind of doubt a little bit.
Yeah, and that's just, man, that's something that comes up. Like, I'm not saying I'm always sitting here like, oh, what is life? This and that.
Oh,
no, pretty cool, man. But the universe always points me where I'm supposed to go. Yeah. When I'm doing the right stuff, when I'm looking for the direction, I usually get pointed in that direction.
Right, right. Yeah, that's always good. It's always good. I love that piece. Like talking about, I struggle with it I think a lot of people do, and it's like it's neat because we talk to people and it's like, well, we're in this huge hole, and we'll get into your story about. What life looked like inside of addiction, and then there's like the life on the outside, but all these things still show up in current life, like currently they do in different ways. They manifest themselves in different ways. We look for awareness, right? When you say through it, and we just deal with them a lot different. Yeah, hopefully. If not,
I listened to a Fifth Step like yesterday, and I was like, we were talking about fear, and what I told him is like, dude, I still get afraid all the time. Fear doesn't go away. It definitely has gone down, but I used to let it like control me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like I used to make my decisions solely based on like this fear or different fears, So it's all about like walking through it, with pretty much anything. It's like, fear of the unknown, which is basically what I was just talking about.
Right.
Like, I just don't know. I don't know what's next. It's scary for a guy.
It is scary. It's like sometimes you're like you get to where you're kind of I get me personally like impatient. Like what's next? Like and so I stop being present with what's going on.
You go through the treatment, sober living, and you move out into a house, and it's like then what? When you're doing that, there's always the next thing. At some point, it's like you're just living.
Yeah, you're just living. And what's wrong with,
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. But up here.
It's like I need to be doing something, accomplishing something.
And that's just like a sometimes thing for me, man.
Yeah, no,
usually
I agree.
If I'm being completely honest, man, like I'm fucking happy today.
Mm-hmm.
Like most times life is really good. And when it's not, it's because I'm like tripping over something.
Right.
It's something that I'm doing.
And when you're able to like slow down for a second, take a step back and look at it, it's not that big of what you think.
Yeah, I just need people to point stuff out to me.
Yeah.
I need that perspective change all the time. Mm-hmm. That's why I need guys like you and guys like my sponsor.
Yeah. That call each other out and see.
Yeah.
We see some things delusional.
Even when I'm just like a little scared, I called up JT the other day. I was a little bit scared.
Yeah, that was good. How did that go, by the way?
Oh, it was good. Yeah, it was good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you got this but I get it. Those type of conversations though that happen, and it's just like, man, it excites me, and it makes you like proud, but it's just like, hey man, it encourages you.
Yeah.
Like this guy's doing the thing, and like and if you can keep bouncing off each other that way, then I have I'm encouraged to do the same thing with that. Oh, okay, I need to call this one. I needed some support on this.
And I think the thing is, man, is like with a little thing like that. What if I don't call you and it goes bad?
Yeah.
And then it's like a bigger thing that I need to call someone about. So it's like, I don't know. Even with the little things, I need to call people. I need to reach out to people. And I got good people around me. I trust them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
it's good, man.
Yeah, that's kind of what the program, man. It's if you fall in love with the program, man, then you find a solution. You fall in love with the solution, and now you can help other people with it. Mm-hmm. And then life is life, and you take it as it comes. And we struggle, but it's manageable.
And you're gonna meet some badass people too.
Oh man, that's the cool part.
Yeah,
you're right.
Some of the best people I've ever met.
I agree with you on that one. That come from so jacked up, like. If you put it, if you were to hear this person's like life story, person out there who doesn't understand, like you're not on my team, I don't want you on my team, you're definitely not on my team. You know what I mean? Like
you ain't coming to work for me.
Yeah, not at all. And I guess rightfully so to some extent if they're going to be judgmental that way. I mean, but if you're going off of stats, it don't look too hot.
Nope.
But at the same time, I was thinking if I'm looking at them and I get to know them and I see the transition, dude, you see some people change. Mm-hmm. I mean, some people really, really change.
It's crazy.
I want you on my team.
Yeah.
I want you on my team. I want you on my team. Versus this whole other thing that's fake because it's real. Mm-hmm. I can deal with real. Mm-hmm. You getting transparent and vulnerable, right? Like we can do that all day.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's neat. If your struggle is your struggle, and you tell me and we talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Then we can get through that stuff.
It's the shit you keep inside and don't share. So shit'll fuck you up.
It'll eat you up.
It'll get you every time.
Yeah, it'll eat you up. Well, cool, man. So I want to know about you. Would let the people out there know who Zac Gunderman is, how it was growing up and stuff, and then when you kind of realize that internal condition too, like wherever you want to take it.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said, I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, but I was actually raised in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Really?
Yeah. I think from about like 2 to 11 or so, we moved out there. And I don't know, man, like I can't, early childhood, there's not a lot of memories there. Like I know I had fun as a kid, and like I know that, I had a mom, dad, whole family was together, brother, sister. We were a good family, you know what I mean? There's no like trauma, nothing crazy like that.
Yeah.
I guess like the first instance of feeling different was when we moved back to Arkansas. And let me just say that I went to all these Catholic schools and stuff, right?
Okay.
And for a guy like me, man, like I just didn't get down with it, So that was my first instance, man. Like,
what made you weird about that? Like, was it just like the whole like the rules within religion type thing? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I just didn't like being told what to do or what to believe. And the way that I always just felt like kind of like everyone else is a circle and I'm a square. Like no matter what group I go to, like I just like, I was pretty good at making friends, because I was, the way I treated the way I felt was like, I want everyone to like me. And I want everyone to accept me. So I'm like, in any given moment, I'm whatever you want me to be.
Yeah. That's that chameleon type thing coming around, but it's so fake, right?
Yeah, it's so fake. And I think that what happened with that, man, is like, I never figured out who I was. And like with my family dynamic, man, like my dad is one way, my mom's the opposite. They kind of butt heads, And so when I'm with one of them, I'm on their side, and when I'm with the other one, I'm on their side. And like, so I wanted everyone to accept me. I wanted everyone to see me a certain way. I didn't want to be seen as a failure. I was like super obsessed with being perfect or like looking perfect
and being successful.
Yeah, and that was like what was gonna make me okay. And like if I was perfect, then you would love me.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, dude. Like I was just lost. I don't know. Like I don't want to say I had a bad childhood or anything, but like I can remember like probably like 6th, 7th grade, like starting to feel like I'm a little bit. I just felt kind of lost.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to these Catholic schools. All these people are down with this religion. I'm not really down with it. I have friends, but I still like, I don't know. Like it was kind of a weird spot to be. But yeah, man. So naturally I like gravitated towards like the popular crowd. Like I want to be popular, right? Because I want people to like me. I was like super concerned with that. So I kind of started acting out in school around like 7th, 8th grade, like doing some switching up the diplomas before we graduate.
Oh,
so
did
the
you
principal goes
saying
up,
the wrong name?
Goes up there and she's like, "Oh, these are out of order. Shout out Miss Hall. I'm sorry about that."
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I was just that's kind of what I did, man. And like I don't know, man. Like I said, I felt that way, just kind of off, kind of lost. And like I was so worried about impressing everyone and like being accepted by everyone that like I just basically did what I was told, except like when it was cool to be bad.
You participated.
Yeah. And so feeling kind of off, man. Like I will say that like I didn't start getting high or anything or drinking until I was like 15, but like I can remember when I was like 12, 13, 14, like doing stuff like addictively. If that makes sense.
Like that addictive disorder, that
personality. Like I'm playing video games and then it's like
obsessive.
Time to go to bed for school and I'm like, I'll go to bed and then I get back up, after my parents go to sleep and I'll play for like 3 hours.
Pull that one.
And be tired. And then talking to girls, man, once I got on Facebook, it was like I wanted all this attention from as many girls as possible, and like, so I'm like, and the thing that was weird about it is the way I would think about it all the time. When I'm not on Facebook, it's like I'm thinking like, oh, she probably messaged me. She probably messaged. You know what I mean? Like my mind was going crazy, man.
She's probably thinking about me. I need to check. She's probably sent me a message.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss the message. I need to answer.
Yeah. And I mean, something else to do I'll just throw it out there, man. Like when I started watching porn, like I did that.
Yeah.
Like I got in the habit of like I figured out how to get away with stuff real quick, like how to cover my tracks. Like I'm going over to someone else's house to spend the night, and when they go to sleep, I'm watching porn on their computer, deleting it all. I'm manipulating the situation so I can do stuff I know I shouldn't be doing, and getting away with it. And so that's something that really carried along with me like later on. Yeah, man, I played sports and stuff.
Going on.
Yeah, I was pretty good.
I've hooped with you. I've hooped with you until you hurt. Have you played since you hurt yourself, by the way?
No. I haven't got back out there. I am a little bit afraid of that.
I was about to say there's some fear. But it's actually
it feels fine now, but I ain't about to go back on the blacktops.
Yeah.
And bust my ankle up again because that sucked.
You're still. I mean, how old are you?
24.
Yeah, you're still at that. Hey, you can rebound. Yeah. I go down with the ankle. I'm probably done for a while, and then I'm like, I don't like pain that much, so I'm gonna hold out another extra 6 weeks on it. So athletic was into sports.
I was good at sports, like naturally, just pretty good at sports. I was naturally just pretty good at school. And I never really had to try too hard at any of that stuff.
I'm with you on that one. I didn't either. I didn't have to apply myself as much.
Right. So all the way up until like freshman year of high school, it was just like I just was good. Like I didn't have to work super hard to get better. Which bit me in the ass for sure later down the line because I wasn't ready to put in any work for anything. I just wanted things to come my way. So I guess get to high school. Another thing, and I just say this because this is how my mind used to see it, and I know it's wrong now, but I went to this all-boys Catholic high school. And so, like, dude, I have all these things that my mind would tell me this is the problem. Like, this is, I'm not supposed to be in this spot. Like, this is why I feel weird, because this is a weird place to be, right? Yeah. Like, we're wearing suits, or we're wearing, like, button-ups and ties, and we got to get our hair cut. And if you saw me back in the day, I liked my hair pretty long.
Would they allow you to? They wouldn't.
No, you had to get that shit cut, or they fine you, or whatever.
They wouldn't fine you.
Yeah. So that's another thing. I was like, I wasn't really down with it, And there was like this brotherhood at the school, and I never got into it. You know, like it was supposed to be everyone was involved, but I was kind of like, I don't want it.
It's weird.
I don't want in it, you know? But at the same time, I kind of did.
Yeah.
You know? But like, my mind's weird, bro.
No, I get it. You're juggling.
It's like,
I
screw all
that.
these people, but at the same time, like, do y'all want me to hang out?
Can I be a part of? But like, but forget y'all.
Yeah,
man.
but fuck y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I guess, you know, I'm in high school, and, you know, I'm playing basketball, and I don't think I played football freshman year. No, I didn't play football freshman year. I was focused on basketball. Anyway, so the first time I ever got high or drunk, it was the first time I drank. I was I was 15 years old, and I'm playing like Monopoly or something with my uncle, my brother, and my cousin, and we're over at my grandma's house. And my uncle like busts out a beer. He's like, "Here, take a sip." You know, and I'm like, you know, going into this, you know, I've been in like little things where it's like, don't do drugs, don't drink, whatever. But like, I never had like an opinion on drinking or getting, you know, any of that. Like I was never like, oh, I'm not doing that, or I was like, oh, I really want to do that. It was just in front of me, so I took a drink. Yeah. And I think I wound up finishing that beer. And what happened after that is I snuck to the fridge about 8 more times.
Oh, okay.
And drank about 7, 8 more beers that night.
First time drinking beer, you drink.
First time,
you almost a 12-pack.
Yeah. First time getting drunk.
You got drunk. You were
I got
blasted.
shitty, dude.
Yeah.
I got shitty. I don't remember like the last 4, but that was just the number I was told the next day. Like, hey, I'm missing like 8 beers. Yeah, like that sounds about right. You know, a little 15-year-old me, like blacked out. First time I ever got drunk, man. Like,
you went hard. Man.
I went hard.
You went all the way.
And you know, like if you know anything about addiction, it talks about like once you take a little bit in, you know, you want some more, and it's like you kind of lose control. And I can relate to that definitely way down the line in my story, but like that's an instance right off the rip. You know, never put a substance in my body before in my life, and like I drink that beer, and like all of a sudden I'm gonna steal your shit.
Yeah, well, you started the whole vicious cycle without knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
you tied the theft to like I'm gonna steal it to get it, and that all goes
kind of goes back to that old idea of like I gotta cover my tracks, or like I'm gonna manipulate this situation, whatever. I mean, I got drunk as hell, but like I don't remember having this moment where I was like, oh, I fucking want to get drunk again, you know, like, or that made me feel so much better about myself. But yeah, I woke up that next morning like in my aunt's bed. Like, don't remember how I got there, and it was just a weird thing.
Weird.
Yeah, everyone knew because I was like throwing up. I got my head in my bowl of cereal.
What'd they say to you that morning?
It was kind of like a slap on the wrist. It was more like, why's your uncle?
Like you kind of got what you got. You're sick or throwing up, and like you little
dumbass. That should do it. And but yeah, I mean, it was cool. You know, nothing like crazy. I didn't have this moment where I was like, I want to get drunk again. But I liked it. Right. You know,
it wasn't a terrible time.
Yeah. And so in high school, I was like one of the older kids. So I was like one of the first ones to drive, right? And so I'm at school this one day, and it's kind of weird, man. Like I went to a small little Catholic school, and there were a bunch of other Catholic schools that would lead into this big all boys Catholic school, right? That's kind of how it worked.
Little subdivision.
Yeah. And then when it got to high school, all the kids would go to this big all boys high school. And so I went to this small one. There are like 3 or 4 dudes in my class, right? So I get to high school and I don't know anyone. Okay. Right? So there again, like I'm kind of like I'm on the outside looking in, you know. But this kid that I kind of knew a little bit, I just started driving. I just got my permit.
So you're like 15, 16 years old and still have no interaction with girls within the school system, right? Or
other than like in the 8th grade,
right?
You know, back then, like it was boys and girls. Yeah. But there's like this all girls Catholic school, and there's all boys Catholic high school.
Right. They were trying to keep y'all away at all costs.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah. I didn't like it, but anyways, so this kid like asked me if I can give him a ride next week, and I'm like, yeah, for sure. He's like, all right, I'll smoke you out. And I'm like,
first time you heard that?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but he's like, you smoke weed? And I'm like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm a liar too, dude.
Yeah,
I lie about everything. And that goes back to wanting people to see me a certain way. Yeah. Like if you ask me if I smoke weed, I'm like, hell yeah,
of course I do.
So I hit up, you know, I told him that's cool, let's do that next week. So I get out of school and I hit up another friend of mine who I know who's been asking me like if you ever want to smoke weed, let me know.
Yeah. I'll give you
I hit them up. I'm like, hey, let's smoke some weed this weekend, so I don't go look like a jackass in front of this other dude.
Yeah.
And they're like,
oh, you were trying to prepare yourself for this moment.
They're like, okay, cool. Have you smoked before? I'm like, yeah. And I shout out this other dude who asked me to smoke before. I'm like, I smoke with this guy all the time.
On the rag,
I'm like
man.
Just bouncing around. Like, yeah. Anyway, so like I go smoke weed over the weekend and didn't get high. You know, like I smoked a little bit and
so many people
didn't really get high.
Yeah.
But when I take homeboy home next week, I get lifted.
Oh, you went to another planet?
I got goofed up. We were listening.
Laughing.
Dude, it was so cool, man. Like I started listening to Sleepyhead by Passion Pit. And I was like seeing colors and shit. I was like tripping, you know.
When you're driving?
I mean, I think we had gotten close to his house by that point. But yeah, so anyways, I loved it.
People listening are like, wow, how are y'all laughing at that? It's just a little...
Yeah, I was just a little kid, dude. I was just a kid. It was innocent. It was fun. Yeah. But once I started smoking weed, bro, I started doing it like a crackhead. It wasn't long before it was like before school, after school, before I go to bed.
So you turned into the stoner.
I was the pothead. I was a little pothead kid real quick. And what I love getting high, dude, but what I really loved about it is like I had like 3 or 4 friends and we all would just smoke together. And after school, it was nice to like have these people that want to hang out with me.
You know, found like, hey, comfort in a way, right?
And so like this internal, like not feeling okay with myself, like caring what you think too much, like all of that shit went away. All of a sudden, like I had some friends, I felt better about myself, and like life got pretty good, dude. Yeah. I'm not gonna trip and say that like drugs ruined my life right off the bat. Right. They helped me out, dude. I had a good time on them for a while, you know. But from I'd say like 15, 16, you know, I'm smoking a lot of weed. Yeah. You know, and I think I got caught by my parents a couple times. Yeah.
How did that go?
I mean, dude, like they definitely weren't down with it. But like any good drug addict, man, I just got better at hiding it. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't stop. I would stop for long enough to, you know, basically get them off my tail.
So the manipulation stuff coming.
But very quickly, like, you know, basketball. I don't make the cut in basketball because I'm not working hard. You know, because I'm not practicing. Yeah. Stop playing football. Like all that other stuff.
All the things you liked and were attracted to kind of slowly fade a little bit. Yeah. They become less important.
Yeah, and so what happened is, you know, I started smoking weed with this kid, and what I found is, like, me and this kid start making music, and, like, I loved it. And me and some friends start going to live music concerts, and, like, I loved it.
That was a new world for you.
Yeah, yeah.
You're a big music guy.
I'm a big music guy now. I've been sober about 2 years, but I still love it. Yeah. But at the time, it was like the perfect thing for me because like I was encouraged to get high before. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the thing people do.
Yeah, let's sit down on this little iPad and make a beat and play guitars. Like, let's smoke some weed and let's get drunk. Yeah. Like, let's get our minds right. Let's get some creative juices flowing. You know, like
spark the creativity in the frontal lobe. I don't even know what it does.
And so I loved it, dude. And that's kind of what we started doing. And like all of a sudden, like I kind of had this identity, and I kind of liked it too. Of like, I'm like the stoner. I'm the guy who likes the party. And like the music guy. Like I'm the cool guy in my head, at least. Yeah. In my head, I'm like the cool guy. You know.
You've convinced yourself of it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you weren't cool. You're great. I mean, but at the same time,
cool.
Actually.
But yeah, no. So it was, you know, smoking weed all the time. But what happened pretty quickly, man, is I started getting pretty reckless with it. Like I said, I'm smoking all the time. Started trying to sell it. You know, almost got kicked out of school once or twice because someone gets their phone taken away, and it's like they got text from me like asking if I need some, like.
And I'm sorry, I don't want to, but this is important to me. It's because there's a lot of people in schools today, right? Mm-hmm. So marijuana is out there, and there's a huge argument over is marijuana safe to use or not. And I get, what's your take on that? It's a big deal. Dude. It's happening in middle school.
Being like a gateway drug.
Well, I mean, good, I guess,
bad,
and it does depend. But at the same time, like someone brought this up to me, and tell me if you agree. Mm-hmm. They were like, I don't know. They say I don't know if marijuana is a gateway drug, or I don't know, whatever. People can argue that for days. But the fact that I used marijuana took me to something that I normally shouldn't be around at some point.
Yeah, like you get drawn to the people,
right?
Or you get
or the culture of it.
Just the drug
and
culture.
It's not. And if it's it's illegal, it's bad. It's perceived as this, and it's not about just perception, but like it's someone who suffers with addiction. It will spin you out of control at some point. Like you can make it for so long just smoking marijuana, but in your story, did it change? It changes, right? Or what? I mean, what do you think about that?
So, I mean, dude, I'm under the impression that I was gonna probably wind up where I'm at anyway. You know, like probably wind up ruining my life one way or another. I don't know, man. Like I know people who smoke weed like today and who are just like fucking go to work, who are successful and they're happy and it's like it's cool. I know people back in the day who smoked weed and got caught up like I did.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like the way I see it is like, you know, your doctor's going to prescribe you 30 Roxys if you hurt your ankle.
Yeah. So
like, was it worse than that? You know, like what? I feel like our attention should be elsewhere instead of just like on weed.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're kind of like me, man, like I was wired, I was going to find something eventually. Like I was probably going to move on. It may have sped things up a little bit off the bat because I was like, this is cool. It's not like really a lot of physical side effects and like I loved it. Maybe a normal person. I know some friends that like would smoke like every once in a while with me, and they were cool. You know, like they're fine. Yeah. Drink every once in a while, and like that's it.
See, I don't operate that way, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's not gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's a good subject though, man. Yeah. I just, you know, you got doctors prescribing pain meds for everything though. Like I feel like that's what people need to be talking about.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the attention is on something that it's there's some other areas that the light needs to be shined on for sure.
And I mean it's legal just about everywhere now. Yeah. Right? Or it's becoming like recreationally legal.
And I don't think it's it ain't my job, and I don't have the job of it to determine what's right and what's wrong within marijuana. I do know, though, that for someone like me, I cannot not one time, smoke marijuana again. Yeah. Because I'm going to smoke marijuana. I want to smoke weed.
Marijuana cigarette.
And then I'm pretty quickly going to want to drink a beer, something wet my throat, and then when I drink a beer, I'm going to want to feel a lot better than that. Yeah. So I'm going to find the opiates. I'm going to find the cocaine. You know, I'm just going to progress until I find my thing, which are opiates, and then it's just going to lead me to that spot every time.
And so I got to a point anyway, dude, where like I'd smoke weed and I'd get all paranoid and stuff. Like I used to be a pothead, loved it, chilled me out. And by the time I was like 19, 20, like internally I was all messed up, bro. So when I smoke some weed and I get paranoid and like I'm like, am I talking stupid to you right now? Like, you know,
you're
like
questioning.
I can't speak right because dude, like I'm thinking about it so hard, you know.
I know, I agree with you.
And
on
so
that.
Every time I did it, it's like I had to pop a Xanax with this, or
and then you're at. See, now we're already past the point. Like it did make me paranoid after a while. There was a time, dude, I remember going to class in college, and I was fine sitting in the front row, writing the best papers I could possibly write. And then there was a moment that changed, and now I'm paranoid. I'm thinking like people know and are looking at me, and you know, I'm having to get rotos all the time. You know, I just do extra measures to like hide this fact. For what? If I'm hiding something, there's an issue.
Yeah. And so, I mean, dude, I started going to school high, and that's kind of how I started feeling, like in high school. And I think around like 16, probably like right around when I was turning 17, you know, I'm working at this barbecue place. And then by this point, like, dude, I'm starting to get fucked up on the weekends. You know, like we're drinking and we're smoking, and I'm like the DDD. Designated drunk driver, because I'm with the guy with the car. And it's not even my car; it's my mom's car. Let me just clarify that. But I'm the one who can drive, and like I'm pretty good at it. Honestly, I took some pride in that.
I can drive. Like I'll drive us drive.
We start getting like, you know, we start turning up a little bit, like taking it the next notch. You know, like not just smoking a little weed now. Like we're getting wasted, and it was cool.
Yeah, had a good time.
No like big consequences there either. Like I think I almost got in trouble with the cops once or twice. Yeah, and it was more like, get the fuck out of here, you little kid. You know,
go
like,
home.
Go home.
Go home. Or I'm gonna tell your parents or take you to your parents or something.
Yeah, but anyways, when I'm working at this barbecue shack, and this girl who works there pulls out a bottle of Xanax, and I don't even know what it is, right? But she knows I smoke weed because we're smoking weed at work. You know, like we're smoking weed with her, and you know how it is when you smoke weed with someone's like, "Oh, this kid's cool. Like, you want some of my drugs?" Yeah. And dude, I didn't even
step into a whole nother realm.
I kind of asked her what it was. She was like, "Xanax just kind of makes you chill, or whatever. Like, give me some." I took one, and that was that first moment where I was like, ooh, bingo. Like, I like that.
You leveled up, right?
Yeah, because a guy like me, dude, my mind's always running crazy, like, because I want everyone to see me a certain way, so, like, I'm exhausting myself. Like, my mind's running crazy, like, trying to control everyone's view of me. And when I took that Xanax, I didn't give a fuck.
You didn't care no more.
I didn't care.
It took that away.
And I had a good time. I stayed like an hour late at work and didn't even know. Me and my friend were just geeking in the kitchen, like balling up meat for the burger patties. And we were like an hour late, and we didn't care.
We didn't care. We're fine.
Yeah, we were cool. And so I bought like 10 more from her, like that same night. Absolutely. I was like, give me some more of that. And that was like the first thing that like I started to change a little bit, like before this, like I was maintaining pretty well, like I quit football, basketball, that, whatever. School was kind of like dropping down a little bit, but like everything else, like I'm maintaining pretty well, but once I started getting into the Xanax, man, like you do stupid shit on that. I know you've probably taken it. Like, I just do stupid stuff. I start pissing people.
Stealing shit, man. I steal people's stuff whenever I take that stuff. I don't know what it is.
I have a lot of stories like that, dude, where I'm not even really looking for money. Like, I'm going into cars and shit, like, looking for whatever. I don't know what I was looking for.
I'll go into Walmart and get a fan and walk out. Yeah. I've done stupid stuff like that.
Wake up with other people's chargers and stuff in your pocket.
Like, what?
Can't find your phone.
Xanax for you.
Yeah. But anyway, that kind of was the first thing where
it's like it takes your anxiety away, but it makes you bold.
Yeah,
to do stupid. I don't know. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but gosh, it makes you do.
But dude, I loved it.
Right.
And for that reason, like all of a sudden, I wasn't afraid of like what people thought about me, and I wasn't this and that. I was like, I didn't care.
Yeah.
And like. I wanted people to think I didn't care before that, but like I really cared a lot about like what you thought about me or like what, how people saw me. So, but anyways, like I started having some like externally people starting to get like, maybe I steal from someone, or maybe like I make an ass of myself and try to fight someone, but like internally it was doing the trick. I'm cool with it. Like I don't even care if I pissed you off, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hit that pretty hard. I started mixing it with alcohol, and that's a bad idea too.
Yeah, those are that's a crazy combination.
Yeah, that's how you black out, and that's how you like wreck cars and shit, which I'll get into later because I've done that a couple times. Yeah, man. So I'm Xanax. I'm starting to do it. I'm starting to go to school, and be all fucked up, and I don't know, man. Like honestly, like a lot of my life is kind of a blur because I took so much of it. Like every day, like I'm taking as much as I can. So anyways, I think around this time, man, it's like painkillers enter the equation too, and love that, fucking loved it, But anyways, I go off to college when I'm like 18. This is another thing, man, where it's like I didn't really think twice about it. It's like my parents thought I should go to college. I'm like, I want to look good, so I'll go to college. But I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do, man. And like sitting here now, I'm like, man, I wish I didn't go to college. Like I didn't graduate, but I only got 15 credits to get a degree. But it's like I could get it pretty easily, but I don't know. Definitely got that student loan debt piled up.
Boy, they get you on that, don't they?
Yeah, because I was just a young kid, man. I didn't know any better. I just went to college, an expensive one at that. I went to the University of Arkansas up in Fayetteville. And I don't know, man. When I got up there, I didn't know anyone who went there other than, like, my sister lived up there. I knew a few people who had gone up there before. And let me back up a little bit, man. Like, around like 17, 18, I start going to Fayetteville because I have a few friends up there who are like living up there temporarily or whatever. My sister lives up there, and like I go up there and visit her, and then I go hang out with these friends and stuff, and like I get introduced to like the psychedelics and stuff and that kind of thing, and I like that too.
I bet you, especially like being a music lover, I'm sure those went hand in hand.
I loved it, and the only reason I really touched on that is because I had a pretty big phase with it, but also like, I didn't get down with Catholicism or like organized religion, but like I take this stuff and like all of a sudden it's like there's something out there. I figured out there was something out there, and like it was pretty easy for me when I got here to like make my own conception of a God or a higher power. Like it's kind of easy for me because it's like I know there's something out there.
You got an experience.
And that's really the only reason I touched on that. But like I loved them, and it like. I don't know, it was weird, man. I'd take some and like I'd have these moments of clarity where I'm like, dude, these pills and stuff are fucking me up. And I'd stop doing them for a little bit. And because I would feel okay. It's kind of like a mini spiritual experience.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd feel okay. It's like, I'm not going to fucking do those anymore.
Yeah.
I know that it's not sustainable because I'd always go back to it. But anyway, so I go up to U of A, and the people that I knew before were not there anymore. And I like knew my sister up there and one other friend. But I don't know where to get drugs, dude. And I spent like probably 2 months up there, and like I'm all up in my head, and like I'm scared. Like I'm just kind of a scared kid, dude. Like I don't know anyone. I'm lonely, and I'm like too scared to ask people for drugs, basically. And so I spent like 2 months, like pretty much just dry, and it sucked.
I bet you're miserable. Weren't
It
you?
was the worst, dude. I'm like going to class, and then I'm coming home and like spending like 8 hours in my dorm, like watching Netflix alone, like looking out the window, seeing.
Well, you was hitting the isolation button.
Yeah, and dude, like I just wanted to say that because I was like 18 and I'm not even getting high, and like I'm without my solution was gone, dude. My solution to like this fear and like this I hated myself, to be honest. Like I started hating myself when I was probably like 17, 18, 19, like. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why don't you have any friends? Like, this negative self-talk. I have it bad. Dude. I had it real bad. And so, anyways, 2 or 3 months, maybe drink once or twice, smoke a little weed here and there, but like, I'm pretty dry. And like, at this point, it's kind of when the weed stopped really doing what it's supposed to do for me. Like, I'm starting to get paranoid and shit. I don't really like it that much.
Yeah.
I moved on to bigger and better things like Xanax and stuff. That's what I really need. But anyway, so I got to where I figured it out. I was like, when I go back home, I'm just gonna buy as much drugs as possible, as many drugs as I can.
So you could bring them to.
Yeah, bring them back.
Bring them back with you.
And so that's what I started doing, and it turned into like, I'm going back like every other weekend, and my parents were like, why do you keep fucking coming back home? And I start going visiting my friends in Central Arkansas who go to college there, and the first time I went back there, I made a fucking ass of myself, and I had all this liquid Xanax and stuff. I was putting on candy, and like somehow it got spilled, and like I just said, "This is mine," and
this is mine.
Yeah, it was though. But I don't remember what happened. But like all of a sudden, dude, my friends from high school who I partied with, they're kind of like, "Dude, we don't really want you to come back here anymore." Mm-hmm. And so I like don't have any friends up in Fayetteville. I don't really have any friends, like, period, to be honest. And it was like the perfect storm, dude. I was just starting to get like pretty miserable with life, and it's like my standards were pretty low. It's like I didn't know it was like this untreated alcoholism, but like that's how it felt, Like I was just no solution. I'm miserable. I'm full of fear. I'm lost.
And that's without
substances for a couple months.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's what it's like without it.
And then like I start going back home and getting some, and like all of a sudden it's like I'll do this every weekend if I have to.
Yeah, to get away from whatever that is inside of me that's making me feel this way.
Mm-hmm. And so man, I finally find some people up in Fayetteville who like to go to shows and like to party, and this is where like cocaine and ecstasy, Molly, whippets, all those wacky drugs like that, the party drugs. Like I meet these people, we start going to shows, traveling around and doing a bunch of party drugs, basically going to music festivals and stuff. And once again, life is like pretty fucking good, honestly. Like I'm not gonna lie, like the drugs,
just keep leveling up within the drugs.
The drugs work, man.
Yeah,
the drugs work.
They do their job for a while.
Yeah, and it gives me people, because they like to do the drugs too. And so like now I'm not alone. And like I feel good, and like I'm bold and I'm cool again, like
you're connected to people.
And there was a point, and I'm not gonna go into like some crazy detail with it, but someone accused me of doing something up in Fayetteville that I didn't do.
Okay.
And I had this thing next to my name now. It got around, and like all of a sudden people thought I did something. And I had this thing attached to my name. And so I had like a group of like 15 friends, really, that we'd all go to shows together. We'd all kick it, whatever. And a lot of them don't want to hang out with me anymore, And it's kind of the theme, man. Wherever I go, like I can make some friends for a little bit, and then eventually, like no one wants to be around me anymore because I'm not a good person. I didn't do the thing that was said about me, but like I put myself in some bad situations. You know, I don't hold any ill will towards the person that I used to, for sure.
I'm
you
sure.
know, but that's something that fucked me up for a long time, and so I get lonely again, dude. I get miserable, and like all of a sudden the drugs are gone because my friends are gone, and like I'm like pretty dry again, dude. Like I'm dry, and I'm even more miserable than before, and like I'm pretty fucking lonely, and like I'm not a suicidal person, but like I'm kind of starting to think like, man, like I just wish I wasn't alive anymore.
Yeah,
you know,
it'd be easier that way.
Not like, anyways, I wound up moving back home to Little Rock, like just out of nowhere. I called my parents, I need to come home. They're like, oh shit. They didn't know anything was wrong, but yeah, I'm sure they knew something was up, but like no details. And I moved back home, man, and I tried to stay sober for a little bit because I started realizing that something was wrong. I'm probably like 20, 21 at this point. And very quickly, I got arrested for having weed in my car and a bunch of Xanax on me. And I go to jail. My dad picks me up, and he's like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I get like halfway honest. I'm like, you know, I don't have any fucking friends. I'm fucking depressed. But I didn't get honest, like honest, like I'm using a ton of drugs, you know, but
yeah.
That was the first time I got like somewhat real with my dad. I was like, I'm fucking miserable, dude.
I don't know
like,
what to do.
I'm anxious all the time. I'm sad, and like I have no friends, and like I don't know what to do. And so I start going to therapy and do that for a little bit. Man, and shit took off pretty quick. I find Roxy's at this point. I find heroin at this point. And man, like if my life was like on a downward trajectory, like say it's like this angle, it crashed pretty quick once I started getting into that stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, within a year, like this is when I wound up in Austin. But anyway, so I start doing this, and it becomes pretty apparent because I'm breaking into cars and shit, and I'm stealing money from my dad's truck, and like I'm stealing from my grandma who's legally blind. You know, that's kind of fucked up,
is
right?
Messed
but
up.
yeah,
but I mean, we do that stuff.
Hey, I made amends to her.
Hey, there you go.
It was fucking powerful, man. But so I start, you know, it becomes obvious, and I'm about to go on this vacation for my cousin's graduation to the Bahamas, and my parents knew something was up, so they searched my room, and they find some stuff while I'm at work one day, and they asked me like, "What's this shit?" And I'm like, they're like, "We're gonna drug test you," and I'm like, "I'm not gonna take a drug test." They're like, "We're gonna kick you out." I'm like, okay, like I get halfway honest again. I was like, I take some fucking pills sometimes, you know, blah, 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 because I'm miserable.
Yeah.
And I was being like halfway honest.
Right,
you know?
halfway.
And so like, all right, we're not going to get high in our house anymore. So like I detox for like a day or maybe 7-8 hours in their house. And like I get really, really, really sick. And all of a sudden, like I'm ready to get more honest now. I'm like, look, I need to go to a detox or something because I'm like really sick. And they look up like symptoms of like Xanax and painkiller withdrawal and like heroin withdrawal, and they're like, oh shit,
this is the
yeah, now it's coming, now it's getting real. So I go to a psych ward for like 5 days to detox. I didn't know it was a psych ward when I went, but I went to a psych ward, detoxed, got out, man, and relapsed pretty quick. Went to rehab, first exposure to like rehab or anything like that. And I mean, I detoxed there, basically.
Pretty much.
You know, I just kicked it. I picked up a bad smoking habit. But anyways, they're like, you need to go to IOP. And I remember someone telling me as I left there, they're like, at the end of the day, man, just don't pick up again. You know, it's that easy.
Just don't do it.
I was like, bet, you're right. But they told me to go get a sponsor in Little Rock, so I was like, okay. And so I go to this IOP, I get a sponsor, and like I'm going to IOP, and I'm going to a meeting every night, but like I'm not working any steps. I don't really do anything, you know. And then within I'm sitting in IOP one day, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go get high.
Yeah,
you know,
of course. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, and I'm taking this naltrexone opiate blocker at the time. I call my dude up, and I'm like, hey, I need some dope. And all of a sudden I remember, I was like, I can't even get high right now for like 5 days if I stop taking it right now. Still tried for 5 days, dude. For 5 days I go pick up heroin from this dude. I'm dodging drug tests the best I can, doing heroin, taking a drug test, pissing in a cup, and then doing heroin in the IOP bathroom. You know. Anyways, so stuff gets out of hand pretty quick, man. I OD'd like 3 times in 3 nights or 4 nights, something like that, on some funky stuff, some fentanyl, carfentanil. Might have been a little heroin in there. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, it gets wacky though, dude. Like after the second time, you know, I got all my family at the hospital with me, and they're like, I'm crying, they're crying. I'm like, I'm never doing this shit again. And I'm on the way home with my dad from the ER. I got court in the morning, and I'm like, I remember it's like there's still some left in my bag. And I do it when I get home, wake up in the ambulance again in the morning. So I wish I could tell you that like I had this big experience where I was like, I never got high again after that.
That was enough.
You know, but no, I spent like 3 days in the ER. 3 days in the ER, like I got pneumonia in my lungs and stuff, and yeah, got out, and I was supposed to come to treatment like 3 or 4 days after that, and like it couldn't happen fast enough, and I started getting high again, and they're like, all of a sudden they sent me down to Austin, and that's how I wound up here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was like, so the end of your run there was, God, but it was bad.
Yeah, I mean, I sped through a little bit just to save some time, but yeah, I mean, shit just popped off super quick. Like I start ODing. Before I went to treatment the first time, like I OD a couple times, and then as soon as I pick back up, I OD like a couple times. You know, that's just where I'm at with it now.
Could have died.
Yeah,
I think very easily.
Coulda, shoulda.
God. And so you get to Austin and work the program that you're put in front of you, and that changed your life, right?
Yeah.
What do you think it was?
I was desperate, man. I was super desperate, and I was all out of ideas, you know. And so I was pretty willing to do whatever you told me to do, even if it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, you and me work at the same spot. You know, there's some guys in there, it's like they want to know, have an explanation when you tell them. You know, I didn't care.
I'm with you.
I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me this might make me feel better down the road. Like, let's do it.
Yep.
And that
so
was
you're
it.
saying that willingness piece is
yeah, and I was like super. I didn't know how to be honest with anyone, but like I was willing to ask how to be honest, and like I was just willing to do whatever you told me to do, man. And at some point, through getting honest about, you know, a lot of stuff I did not ever talk to anyone about ever. I share that with other people, and like all of a sudden I start feeling way better. I'm like, maybe I'm not so fucked up after all.
Of course,
you know, and I had not really a lot of experience with like AA and stuff before this, so like all of a sudden I'm reading this book and it's like explaining me to a T, and I don't feel so alone, and I don't feel so like different.
Jacked up.
Yeah, I don't feel so different. It's like, dude, there's a whole book written about me.
Yeah,
right. Like, I'm not some special case where I can't get better, like, because I didn't know what was wrong with me for the longest time, you know, and all of a sudden I start feeling better, and I make a lot of really good friends, and like I'm like, let's stay in Austin for a little bit and see how it goes. And I get out, and I fucking love Austin. Yeah, you know, it's
Austin's dude. Austin's dope, man.
I love it here.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, man. Life just took off from there, and it got like way better. You know, it got really good, and life's really good today. And man, it's like I'm one of those dudes that like I said, I OD now when I get high. Like I don't get to get high and have fun anymore.
Yeah, it's off to the edge.
And I don't want to go back to the stuff I was doing and during that time of my life. So
what do you do to stay, what would you say you do that, you know, to keep it up, to keep everything serviced so that you don't, like, what are you doing daily, or what are you doing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, for me, it's the basic stuff that I was taught in the beginning, you know, like just back to basics, you know, like you wake up, you're gonna meditate, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna go out your day, and you're gonna try to help some other people. So for me, it's like I wake up, meditate, you know, I seek this spiritual power, whatever you want to call it. And I stay pretty involved with like trying to help other people, man. Yeah. Like I got a couple of sponsees. I host a meeting at my house you used to come to. I know the schedule changed.
Dude, the schedule jacked with me on now. Yeah. I love that though.
Yeah, but you know how that meeting is. You know, it's like a bunch of good friends who like tell you the truth.
That's great. There's so much like that. There's friendship in that.
Yeah,
right? Like,
it's crazy.
Get you some of that.
Yeah. So I have a couple people in my life that I'm fucking real with, even with the twisted, fucked up thoughts I don't really want to talk about, you know, at least like one person for sure, my sponsor, I have some fucked up thoughts, like I gotta tell him at least. But yeah, man, I host a meeting at my house. I go to meetings, you know, I go do an H&I for anyone who knows what that is, hospital institution, like go to rehab and bring a group.
Those are great.
You know? Yeah. So, meet with sponsees, like try to carry the message, dude. And like, the underlying thing with all of it is like, man, I'm just trying to be a better person today. And like, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. I'm willing to admit I don't know everything, you know, and I think that's a big one, man. I know a lot of people who have tried to get sober or whatever, and like the common theme for the people that wind up going back is like they don't want to admit that they might be wrong about something.
Pride.
Yeah, it's like
pride
it's like
is
a pride thing, dude. It's like
ego, pride. It is
just not transparent, or like you just don't want to hear what someone else has to say. Like I don't always want to hear it, but like I'll pretty much listen to it. If you would have told me to do something right now, like even if it doesn't make sense to me, I'd be like, maybe I should do that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not just gonna close.
You can
down.
look at it. I mean, we can always look at it and examine it. It's like I remain open to looking at anything. The thing is, like, people get so set in their ways and closed off to something that they really don't know nothing about because some kind of type of standard was set for them, and it's wrong if it's not done this certain way. And the truth is, there's a million ways to do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I challenge people to be transparent. And to be like, people are like, oh man, I strive myself on honesty and transparent. Like, you don't even like, are you really transparent and vulnerable? Like, do you know what that looks like?
Yeah.
Because until then, like, you're not only lying to yourself, you're lying to everybody else because you're trying to portray something, and we do that. There's a lot of people, we get stuck in that, and people in this world do it all the time. They're out there trying to create or like keep up this facade of something because it was like their identity. And I think in trying to like stay up with your identity that you think you should, you get lost. And we felt lost. Yeah. And through this program, you get it back. God does some, or whatever you call it, does some, amazing things. And it's very cool.
And it's like the daily normal stuff that you're taught to do if you're like in some kind of fellowship. Like, it's like clockwork to me now. You know, that's easy for me now. The stuff that's still hard is like you were talking about, is like sometimes I got to reach out for help on something that I don't feel like I need help on, or like, it's like something small, but it's like fucking me up. So it's like, I gotta call my sponsor because my girl won't text me back.
Yeah, something. And it seems stupid.
It seems stupid, but that's when I hear the most profound stuff sometimes. And it's just
don't rob yourself from the experience.
Yeah.
You never know when that experience will be around the corner.
Yeah, and it's so it's like daily disciplines, staying transparent, and then it's like, dude, if you tell me to do something, like, you best believe, like, I may not want to, but I'll do it.
I'm good at following direction.
I'm gonna do it, man. And like that's what's kept me going. But as a result of that, dude, life gets really good, and it gets like a lot of fun, and you meet some really cool people, and like your life just gets bigger. Yeah, and so it's like it makes it kind of like there's more encouragement. It's like, if I just keep doing this, like, who's to say life doesn't get even better?
Right.
Who
am I to challenge like this is the end? And you can maybe even take that into what you thought, what sometimes you think and I think is like, is this it? Well, who am I to say what is it?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
like I get to the beginning.
Right. So it's always like, you can always continue to challenge yourself, and that's what's cool too. The fellowship and friendship, man, it's so big. I wish people could get a piece of it to really truly understand that. You're not always going to get told what you want to hear. That's the part. But at the end of it, you see the truth in it, and it's just like, man, I'm grateful that you're honest. I'm grateful for that. For people holding me accountable. That's awesome, dude. I appreciate you stopping by.
Zach, for sure. Thanks
Mr.
for
Zac Gunderman. I'm telling his story. I went from Arkansas to Austin, and loving Austin now. Work with Zach, like I was saying earlier, and Zach's really into music. He has a SoundCloud out there. What's your SoundCloud?
I think it's just Gundy.
I
haven't put anything new on there in a while. There's some stuff from like 4 or 5 years ago on there, but keep an eye on it.
He works on that sound. Dude, I'm trying to get some of his music so I can put it on the podcast.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah,
okay. I'm just waiting on you.
Let me know what you want.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. We'll talk about it.
I don't know what I want. Well, I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for being. Sure. Dude, I appreciate your friendship, and you know that, man. I love you too, man. And it's been a journey, but I'm glad that we have the people we do around us and our friends and our groups that we have. Dude, I'm very grateful, and I'm very, very grateful for you and so many words of wisdom you've put in my head as when I was in treatment, and that's important to me. Like I was attracted to you guys, and that attraction made me want the life that you guys had. So, got to keep doing it, So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm glad I could be a part of it, man.
Absolutely.
For sure.
That's going to do it, guys. Episode 8 is in the books with Zac Gunderman. So appreciate you guys listening. Until next time, see y'all then. I'm going to hit this live button. I jacked up on the... What I see... My
Were
boy.
we still live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still.
I totally did exactly what you told me not to do.
What'd you do?
I lost track of the time.
Oh no, you're good.
There's 45 minutes in, and I'm like, I'm still in college.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. All right, guys, if you're listening, you're still on Facebook Live, or if you're watching this video at some point, keep going through it. I don't know. Maybe you listen to the podcast. People listen different. Jaywalking the podcast is our Instagram handle. You can catch us if you are someone struggling with addiction, want to reach out to us. You can find us at jaywalkerpodcast@gmail.com. Ask your question seriously. Like I tell people all the time, like if there's any time to like grab onto some, if you're going to be bold and you're going to have courage, it's a time, especially within addiction. This shit will kill your ass. Mm-hmm. It will kill you. It will destroy your family. And hopefully, man, if we can get, spread some solution in that. The truth is sometimes that stuff has to happen in order for someone to come to the place where they can actually find freedom and you kind of repair after that, if it can be. But there's the solutions out here, and there's people like my man Gundy here and people that are really doing the thing who want to help and will help and have the solution. So we just listen and we follow direction and we become willing and open-minded, right? I would say. Yeah. So listen, if you or someone seriously, reach out to us. And at the Gmail, follow us online on Instagram. You can find us on our Facebook page. Obviously, you're probably listening. If you're not, we have a Facebook page, J-Walking Podcast. We also there's a YouTube channel up now. I'm throwing these videos on. Man, there's so many things within social media. It's crazy. But my man Zac Gunderman, live from the studio, right? I guess. Yeah. But thank y'all for listening. Just wanted to know it does sound different because we record the actual podcast within the whole live thing. So, you got anything to say to those people out there, man?
Oh man, I just know for me, it's like I could never get helped until I got honest, man. That's the biggest thing. Even now, like I can't get help if no one knows what's going on with me. So if you are one of those people, man, like I hate to say it, but like for a lot of us, dude, that pride thing we were talking about, it's gonna have to get bad before you're ready to get some help. Yeah, like, that's what had to happen for me, man. Some divine intervention.
Yeah. Oh boy. Right.
But it doesn't have to be.
No. Yeah. That's the thing is it doesn't have to be. If we can catch it. All right, guys. Thank y'all. We'll be back with another one sometime. We're going to start getting into some educational stuff on here, too. I think, showing some people about the old vicious cycle, what that looks like, will help.
Be tight.
Golly, I remember Penrod doing a group on that when I was in treatment. And, dude, it changed me. I literally remember him doing it, and I still think about it. It's so important to me. So we're going to start doing some of that, Cat. Tommy DeSocio, what's up, Dave Cat? Who's Dave Cat?
Okay, so we were watching My Strange Addictions earlier. And Dave Cat is this dude who has a sex doll, but he's in love with her.
Oh, Dave
I forget
Cat.
the doll's name, but yeah, you should check it out. It's weird.
Tommy, you're a mess, dude.
Tommy's a mess.
I'll
have to show you some pictures here in a second. We all took pictures of ourselves with sex doll faces, like what we'd look like.
Oh wow,
sex dolls.
That's funny.
Yeah, me, Joe, and Tommy.
I can only imagine you guys. I received a FaceTime from you guys today. So. And then Tommy's snaps last night had me rolling.
Oh my god!
I had to be
what he ate last night too?
What was it?
He ate some of the hottest hot wings.
Oh god, Tommy, what's up, man? Tommy, man, what you doing?
He came in there and gave me one, man. I got my headphones in. I'm playing a PlayStation, and I wasn't really paying attention. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take one. Took a bite, and he was like, it's cool for like 2 minutes, and I was like, Tommy,
yeah, God,
this shit's hot.
We love you, Tommy. We love you, guys.
Shout out, Tommy.
All right, hey, man, if there's anybody, if you're struggling, reach out. It's been a weird week. It's been a weird week in recovery, and seeing people, man, it sucked, man. It's been one of those weeks where we've had a good friend of mine went back out, a good friend of yours, and I'm not trying to put nobody on blast, but it's just, this thing's so real, and if you're not on top of it and you don't stay, connected, we know what happens after that. And sad thing is it happens. And it gets to a point to where, it'll kill you.
Yeah.
And then you don't have any, you can't experience.
It's just sad.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to.
It's sad. So speak up, reach out. If you know someone's struggling, point them in the right direction. Learn boundaries, what those look like, healthy boundaries. Learn how to love from a distance, because the truth is you might be helping kill that person and you don't know it, because it disguises itself as love to you. Thank y'all for listening. We'll be back next time. See y'all later. It's Gunderman.